All right, start at Q School. Thanks everybody showing up. It's March 16th, 2022. We're ready to rock your world with some information. Tim 17 and I and our beautiful admins and digital soldiers who also will be joining the show today. Let's get rolling, huh? Where we go one, we go all.
5-5, brother. Yeah. Let's do it.
Oh man, I thought I could play that in the background. Sorry, guys.
Can you see the light? Can you see the light? We're standing tall and on the fight. Words are written deep within your fire. So stand up tall and on the fight. Let me
Boom.
Boom.
Shout out this digital soldier here. I Drop Media, DJ Chili. So go there if you want to support them as well. And sorry, Tim, I cut into you on the video. So go ahead and shoot it back to my partner, Tim, right now.
Yeah, I was just saying, boom. I love that video, man. That just gets me going, gets me pumped up for another Q School recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Q School. This is March 16th, the Lord's year 2022, and Kyle and myself, Tim 17, Undercover White Hat, and Tim 17, along with all our beautiful digital soldiers, patriots, anons in the chat tonight. Wow, the room's packing in there, brother. Another recording. We're going to have a little bit of fun here tonight again, as usual. That's what we like to do here in Q School as we go through a multitude of Q drops on the board, QAG.news. So I need some audience participation here tonight. So I'm looking for, I need a number from somebody in the chat room and a word. Let's go with a number and a word, start putting them in diggers. And we're going to pick out two beautiful digital soldiers tonight and see what, let's see what happens. Kyle, back to you.
Yeah, amen, for sure. So we're going to be covering the different Q drops. We're going to be on, there's three or four main different places. I'll go to Mermaid on that one. But let me just show this. I'm going to be doing my drops at QAG.news. That's the main place I like to go. What these are called is third-party aggregates, because the Q information, which is vast and profound, and which is what we're going to be trying to look through and understand. If anybody's new to this, there was a anonymous person or entity started dropping information on 4chan, which is an anonymous message board, 4chan, back on October 28th, 2017. It continued on for about 3 years, went over to 8chan, and then ultimately on 8Jqhn, which is backed up by a Department of Defense IP address. And what we go to get those drops, because it's a little difficult to navigate through the chans, are called third-party aggregates. So these places like QAG, QAGG.news, put all the drops in one place for us, so we can look at them from 1 to all the way down to 4,953, or we can even flip it and we can start at the very end, or as the end, the beginning, as we like to say as well too. Oh, Tim, we should play that one too sometime soon. That not gonna take it video. Maybe we'll do that at the end today. But anyways, QAG, QAGG.news is a main place to get the drops. Really good search feature. There's also Q Alerts. Oops. Oh my gosh. Alerts.net. And then QAnon.pub are 3 different places you can get Q drops. And Mermaid, what's that one? The Q Online one? What's that one?
It's called qpost.online.
That site's gone now. We
It's
want
like
to get
that.
them
So
back.
Q, is it post with an S or no?
Yes.
I think yes,
Post-
qposts.online.
They
Just
archive
check that
everything.
out
It's
real
gone
quick.
though.
Q. Yeah, post with an S, online. And that one, I guess it's kind of like they're just online based. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I'm not super tech savvy, but there's some multiple places to get your Q drops, guys. We're going to try to teach you to read the drops as best we can, but ultimately there's no quick and easy answer. You got to just keep coming back and keep reading the Q posts. So I definitely recommend going into QAG every day and put a term in. Let's say, how about a volunteer? Give us a word for today. We need a volunteer for a word too, Tim. Who wants to come on the mic and give us a word?
I'm checking diggers right now. We've got some interesting things going on here. So if you're ready to, here we go. So it looks like I'm going to go with VQ tonight, and I'm also going to go with Scott Rodemoyer in the chat. So VQ chose Q drop 869. 869, and Scott chose 1217. Now, what's really interesting about this, hey Matthew, it's pretty interesting. So with the Q drop numbers and then the words, VQ chose the word game, and then Scott came in with game over. So they put different Q drop numbers, but with the same kind of wording. So we'll start with those 2 Q drops. I've got a couple others in here, but let's go with VQ. Thank you, VQ, for your pick tonight. Q drop 869, and then Scott with 1217. Game over, he says.
So what I did on that one, so I did game, and this is what's nice about QAG, guys. I put game in the search here, and it lets you know what your search is, but then it also tells you how many drops. So 118 is quite a bit with game. I'm kind of curious how that surprising that there's that many, but I guess Shadow Game, Durham is not the only game in town. How is the game played? Okay. Ooh, this is one we kind of hit on the other day. Just want to highlight this one more time. Just as how this works, guys. This is the media. Okay, the 90% of them owned by 6 corporations. They also affiliate with them administrations. Okay, Susan Rice married to Ian Cameron, the producer of ABC News. Notice they don't have the same last name, even though they're married. Why would they do that? Brothers, Ben Rhodes, David Rose, Obama admin, and CBS News. The other post I had yesterday said there's specific titles, but you guys can fact check this yourself. We encourage you to always do that. Liz Sherwood, Obama administration, married to Ben Sherwood, ABC News. So there's one that they actually have the same last name. That's more the exception than the norm. Katie Hogan in the Obama administration, married to ABC News, Matthew Jaffe. Again, not the same last name. Interesting, huh? Obama admin, Jay Carney, married to Claire Shipman, ABC News. Not the same last name. Interesting. Tom Nides, Clinton administration, married to CNN's Virginia Mosley. Again, not the same last name. Isn't that strange? Obama administration, Valerie Jarrett. She's a big player behind the scenes, connected to Muslim Brotherhood also. And I guess her daughter, I'm not familiar with this girl, actually, Laura Jarrett. She's at CNN. I didn't know. I'm not familiar with her, so we need to dig some more into her. Jim Scudo. I don't know how to say that. Apologize, guys. Obama administration, married to Gloria Riviera, ABC News. Again, not the same last name. Why would they do that? Okay, and then we know the brothers, Andrew and Chris Cuomo, Democrat governor from New York City, and then Chris Cuomo on CNN, and they got some big problems coming up too. So just another example of the way that they and then here's a Q respond here, missing 29 connections national and then missing 98 connections locally too. I don't know if we've had an updated list of that. So we weren't planning on talking about this, but I just I said squirrel. I saw something I wanted to bring up in one of these Q posts. So Tim, there was 118 posts with game. And then did I do game over? Let's see, game over, there's 6 posts. So maybe we'll specifically cover that. But I want to do something different. I want to keep using the and function. So I'm going to go. And by the way, to start learning how to do the search on QAG, you got to go to the help and just kind of start learning how to do the search function. It's not the easiest. It's kind of set up by these people from the Chan. So if you're not tech savvy, it might take a little, but if I can figure it out, you guys can figure it out too, because I'm definitely not the best on the computer controls here. But I'm going to do game and over, and then we get 27 drops. So that'll be kind of interesting, and we'll keep an eye on the game over drops too, and that way we'll get both of those in there too. And then I brought up those other 2 posts, 869 and 1217, that our digital soldiers wanted to look at, picked a number on. And then what else you got for us, Tim?
Yeah, this is good because that'll fill up the show indeed. And what's interesting is before Q School, I went to check, me and my deltas, right? I gotta read me my deltas. It's like having a cup of coffee in the morning. I can't get my day started without and kind of shocked. I mean, it very rarely happens, but guess what, Kyle? There's absolutely 0 deltas for today's date, March 16th. There's a bunch. There's a bunch after it, but for some reason, this is a shutout. So we're gonna have to see. I mean, tomorrow, March 17th, on our show, there's 17 Delta Q drops, believe it or not. So a little coordination with our favorite number. But yeah, so let's get right into our Patriots helped us out here, Digital Soldiers. We've got VQ and Scott Rodemeyer today. We're gonna use a combination of the game over, and of course the 2 Q drops. And let's just see what happens. That's what I like about Q School. You never know what you're gonna get.
I told Tim it's like when we used to do it over on the MG show, and go ahead and support those guys too. They got a Telegram channel, MG show, but I think the best place to get their information would be over on Rumble. Just go to Rumble / it's the MG show, and right here MG show 16,000. They got such good information here. They do lots of digs. There's Jim Comms, talks about the gematria of things they're doing. They're separate from the MG show, but they're under that same umbrella. But here's the stuff where they do some really good digs. So check out their Rumble channel, and shout out to them for helping us get up on our feet and get running to now we can have our own channel and spread our wings and continue to help awaken people. They do some great digs. Look at, they got a Truth Social and Sons of Tyranny too. I still need to watch the first one, so maybe I'll be studying up on that tonight, or maybe we should. I know you guys stream that sometimes during the day too as well. And then a quick shout out, and I haven't spoken to Pat. He sent me some messages, so I don't know if Pat, if you're on here, apologies, brother. I've been meaning to get back to you. Let me see if he's in here. Okay, he's not in here, but Pat Petrini, shout out our sponsors. And we got some other things coming down the pipe here too, guys. But just to touch on this, you got to scroll up a little ways, and on our regular Q School, t.me/Q School, maybe Mermaid, maybe you can forward this again here, our link here with Evervive. Here's the channel. It's evervive.com. It's a CBD products for your skin. They partnered with us, a good buddy of mine from over 15 years ago, Pat Petrini, another fellow truth seeker. We, our paths kind of parted ways, and then we wound up finding each other just recently, and he launched this amazing product for, health and beauty, but it's, getting back to natural health and letting your body heal itself, especially with, not using these drugs and all this other nonsense to make you supposedly feel better. Evervive's an expression of our core values: truth, love, and freedom. Truth, love, and freedom is what they're about. That's what we're about here in the Q movement, and we couldn't be happier to partner with them. So check out evervive.com. Use the code QSchool to get 10% off, and if you get some products from there, that'll go to help support our channel as well too. And like I said, we'll have some other things here in the future, even just some donation things, but we're not too worried about that right now. But I want to get it going in the future so we can hopefully have Tim retire in the near future. But again, we're just here to get the truth to you right now, so we will do that. But yeah, check out evervive.com and use Q School to help support the show a little bit and get some nice products, CBD, amazing products. Check out their page, evervive.com. All right, Tim, I'm ready, man. Let's do this.
Let's dive right into these let's do the 2 number Q drops. Let's see what those 2 Q drops are that you have on the screen, and then we'll check out the game and over. So game over or game and over, and let's see what comes out of all those beautiful Q drops. And I do have a couple of backup numbers if we need them, but I don't think so. I think usually what happens is we start reading a Q drop or two, and it just takes us down so many different paths as in connections with Q drops and information. So let's see what happens here, Kyle.
Yeah, amen to that. And if anybody's new to this stuff, there's the Q information's quantum, meaning relevant to past, present, and future. So we'll be covering drops from maybe 3-4 years ago. So this was actually would have been what we call deltas. Delta means change in time. We'll cover deltas that are in the minutes. If we say a 0 delta, that means Q posted, and then the president of the United States at the time, Donald Trump, would post a tweet less than a minute later. That's that one. But then we also cover deltas based on years. Delta just means the change in time. So if we were back last week on March 7th, we would have been covering this post as a 4-year delta, because again, today's date is March 16th, 2022. And Tim was kind of alluding to that there actually aren't any posts from this date. QAG has a nice feature. We hit quick links here, and we can get all the drops that are 1-year deltas, 2-year deltas, 3-year deltas, 4-year deltas. And they already automatically take it a couple days before and a couple days after, which I love. So there's actually no 2-year deltas. There was no drops from March 14th to March 18th, 2020. So then we go to 3-year delta, and we get 70 drops on there. But as Tim said, we got March 14th through the 18th. There's actually no drops on the 16th. I'm going to trust my partner on that one, but you can scroll through and check them out. No drops on actually March 16th. I think that, Tim, like I said, also just means we need to be looking ahead at March 17th. We had a beautiful digital soldier on here the other day that wanted to look at some of the drops from March 17th. So I think this will give us a little extra time to do that. Oh, and Tim, before I forget, write this down. I wrote it down too. Trump's speech on December 18th, 2017 is his national security strategy. It was on one of our videos we're watching, the Truth Bomb guy. Man, that's one we need to dig into and do a decode on, because that's big, big news. That's like laying out the whole plan of what this White Hat's strategy is, what the plan is on 12/18/17. That's written how Americans write it, month first, December 18th, 2017. Trump has a national security strategy speech, and we really need to look into that one. That seems super powerful. So we'll definitely do that. But either way, so no drops on March 16th today, 3 years ago, or actually any of these years, according to Tim, but there's still plenty of drops throughout that time, as you can see. And I'll still just do one more. We'll do the 4-year delta now. And you see we still got 13 drops, but it starts on the 15th. This is the date here, guys, and this is the timestamp, always in New York Eastern time zone. That's known as UTC5. Make sure your time zones are in New York Eastern time when you're doing the Q drops. That was just, made to make a normal reference where everyone can be on the same page, because Washington, D.C. is Eastern time, and so is the Winter White House, Mar-a-Lago in Florida. But yeah, no posts from the 16th. See how you go right there. We go, oops. My computer always jumps around. We go from the 15th over to the 17th. Sorry, I'm all over the place, guys. March 15th, 9:52, and then it jumps all the way down to March 17th on the next one here, right there. Next week, boom, boom, boom. So no March 16th post on any day, any year. Isn't that interesting? I wonder what that means. And I've been still wanting somebody to try to map out all the Q drops, like, okay, 5 Q drops on November 14th, 2017, and then 17 drops the next day, and see what kind of pops up on the graph. But that's going to take a little Autist special. And if you guys are watching that Truth Bomb video, yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I was thinking if there's no drops, I'm thinking 0. So if you typed in 0, because there's 0 deltas. But you know what I found interesting also? I mean, a little side note here. I'm looking at all the beautiful digital soldiers here with us tonight live on this recording. And we had 2 different numbers and 2 different words, but the 2 words almost, they almost matched together. One was game, the other was game over. Would you believe that both Scott and VQ are actually side by side in the chat? Like, they're not even separated in the chat. They're like one above the other. There's Scott, there's VQ in the chat, brother. So, like, I've never seen that happen before, too. So there is some kind of connection between those two, their numbers, and, of course, the word game. So we'll type in 0, and let's see what happens when you type in 0, just for...
Yeah, so I just did that. I got 26 drops with 0 in it. So we got quite a few with that too. We got how many? We got the 2 drops for the numbers, but then game and over we get 27 drops, and then this one had what was it? Oops, 26 drops with 0 in it. Yeah, 26 drops. So that's a whole boatload for us there if we need to.
All right, let's get to the numbers. Let's do the 869 was from VQ and the 1217 from Scott tonight. So let's start digging on this stuff. Oh, geez, sorry about that. That's Matthew. He's feeling better.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. Okay, so 869, March 7th, 2018. We have an image shared here. And so to understand the Q drops, sometimes you'll see, let me go to these other ones. Okay, like right here, I don't want to do that one in case people are new to this. Shoot, let's see here. Let me flip it. Okay, so on the chans, or again, these third parties. So this is a Q drop shared here, but this darker square here is somebody else's post, and sometimes Q will take their own post and put it, embed it. It's called embedding, but this is actually an anonymous person. So it says, Q, you magnificent bastard. This is an anonymous saying that right here. But now on this one where we're doing this 869, do you see there's no black embedded square? So this is actually Q themselves sharing this image, and every time Q has shared an image before, it's been a unique image, meaning it's never been shared online before. What does that mean? Are they actually sending us surveillance of certain situations? It may very well be that is the case. I mean, we can't prove it. Otherwise, they've never been online before, these images that when Q shares the image specifically. So let me do the post first, and then we'll talk about the image and what's going on here. March 7th, 2018, timestamp 14/20/23. And there's the image shared here, and also the image name. Sometimes you can gain information from that. Everything is stated, has a purpose. Everything has meaning. The Q information is quantum, but it's also an intelligence operation, meaning it's layered with multiple layers of information in there too. Sometimes people can get information by what the image name. Sometimes you could even have the resolution of the image have pointed things to Q drops or Q information. I mean, it's just mind-boggling how much information is in these drops that's the point of us coming together to try to understand this. No one person could ever understand this by themselves, no matter how smart or genius you think you are. This is meant for us to do this together as a team. So Q replies to their image they shared here. It says, shall we play a game? Which is from the movie War Games, right? Find at Snowden, IDEN +1, happy hunting, Q. So all caps there too. That generally means like identifying or identification of somebody. But what is the +1 here? And find Snowden. So is Snowden somewhere in this image? Q alludes to that. And we've also done some digs on this way back in the day on our Q School back on the MG show, especially about the radio towers. I don't know what else to add on that, Tim. There was some good information. See these towers here? If you guys can see that, hopefully on your screen, okay. By the way, if you're on a cell phone or a iPad, turn it sideways. We'll give you the best view of our screen here because I'm sharing my screen on a laptop. And then pinch and zoom if you need to as well, too. But right here, there's clearly some towers. We've dug on this, Tim. What were do we think this is China or help me out here, buddy?
I'm trying to remember. But we did do a big dig on this one, and I think even Wet Yeti and maybe even Peacekeeper back in the days over at MG Show, we really honed in on the top of that building with all those towers. But we also noticed there's somebody standing on the top of that building with a red hat. And we were kind of joking about it could be somebody with a mega hat on. We kind of that, but yeah, it was something to do with these towers. There's a multitude of them, but this reminds me of we should announce maybe the Snowden digs. I mean, we've been using the last couple of Sundays now for doing our Sunday Snowden sessions, right? So we've already done part 1 and part 2. This coming Sunday will be part 3. There's so much information to go over, and of course this Q drop will come up during one of these Sunday sessions, and those recordings are available anytime. You just go to Q School channel and scroll up. You'll see the Snowden digs. You might have to scroll up a ways, but those recordings are there. I think we've done a bang on phenomenal job with the help of other digital soldiers here with us in Q School, Kyle. And this is just another one of those can of worms. You can open it up. We could probably do the entire show right here, right now, just talking about Snowden and trying to, like, happy hunting, Q says, right? So what are we hunting for? Am I counting how many umbrellas? Was there 17 umbrellas in this picture? Like, what are the connections? Where's Snowden? What's going on? Is he white hat? Is he black hat? That's what I love. We have to expand our thinking. And Q actually, gets us to use our muscle, the muscle between our ears. And I love it.
Yeah, definitely. I see in the chat, I'm actually going to try to keep up and monitor. And there's just been so much activity in the diggers, guys. And thank you. It's really been high quality drops and stuff, which is what I'm hoping that we stay with that. I know there's lots of things happening in the news, but as long as it's super relevant, or especially when we're on chat, to keep things on topic. But Dustin said, I've checked in and out a couple times and the chat's very choppy. Is anyone also experiencing that? So I hear Tim good. If you guys too, if you ever have trouble with the chat, sometimes just hop all the way out, leave the chat and then come back in. But there's just been a lot of bugs going on lately with the latest update, and I really think that solar activity is causing some trouble. Is anyone else having us come in choppy?
You have a hand up. Let's check in with Mermaid. Mermaid, what's the situation over there in the chat room?
Was Melzie? I just unmuted her. Did she leave? So last night I did my iOS update, and you guys couldn't hear me. I was having volume problems even in another chat, but then today it seemed to have resolved. So if you have Apple products, there's an iOS update. But I hear you guys fine, unless anyone else doesn't. I hear both of you guys loud and clear.
Just as you said that, sometimes it's kind of cool how Telegram does that. If there's a little connection, then it'll speed you up kind of to get you caught up. So I just did that. But yeah, I hear you good. So Dewana said in the chat there, it looks like he's Red Hat. Is this the person that's supposed to be Red Hat's right next to all these towers? And again, MCOMS was the one, Tim, I remember, that had a great information about this. He's a kind of radio specialist, communications, and this would be the way they would communicate, since within this digital age, everything can pretty much be intercepted, digital communication. So this way you could communicate on the radio waves. And then I don't know if this is a real person. I can't tell if it's a person, if this is what everybody's talking about. What's funny is it looks kind of like a suit hanging there. It's almost like it's like a pretend person. If you think about maybe double meaning, are they telling us Snowden is not the real person, right? But then if it's a red hat, MAGA hat, does that mean he's on the white hats team, pro-Trump? Hard to say, but that's maybe I'm over analyzing, but that's certainly some things I see in the picture. I don't know. And that, Tim, like I said, we got to count the umbrellas. He had me count. It was close to 17, but I think if you count all these, it was closer to 20, maybe 19.
Well, do a double count, but check that one that really stands out. VQ mentioned it in Diggers. Look at the one that's got the blue and yellow. It pops right out at you. That's Ukraine colors. And look what, Ukraine, blue and yellow, right? That all the deep staters are holding the flag, the Ukraine flag. Yeah, we're for Ukraine. We're for Ukraine. Yeah, sure you are. You've got all your corrupt, all your dirty money going through Ukraine. Yeah, we're for the Ukraine people, but not for the corruption of Ukraine. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was at like 19 here, which 19 is an interesting number, but then it kept going, and there's more even up here too. Or in a way, it was 22. I think it's hard to count. There's some little ones, and is that an umbrella? Like, what is that? So I'm gonna stay away from that one. If someone else wants to dig on that, find something about it, go for it. Here's an all red one too. But is that the guy this is who we're talking about with the red hat, or is there somebody outside? It must be this because it's on the towers, this roof with the towers. I don't think that's a person, but it looks like a suit hanging up to me, like one of those shirts you wear where it looks like you're wearing a suit, or they got the ones with the bathing suit too. I don't know, but is that the red hat we're talking about? Or is
to me, it looks like there's two people talking on the rooftop, and the guy behind the guy in gray has a red hat on. It looks to me that's what it looks like. It's a little blurry, but
yeah,
who knows? Okay. Like my brain works kind of weird sometimes, Kyle. But I remember we were talking about that one time.
I like how your brain works, brother. Special autist brain. Is that a red hat too? Hard to tell. I know sometimes you can like download this image and get it in high resolution. So I think we're going to just skim the surface on this. Again, like I said, shout out to our Snowden Sundays. We've had 2 awesome ones. We're going to keep going further on that. So come check us out. And we start a little bit earlier. If you guys are, in the UK or, Danish or Swedish or any of those, where it's we'll get on maybe a little late for you. We'll be on at 4:17 p.m. Eastern time. So I think that's like 10 o'clock if you're in like the Swedish time zone. So hopefully that's not too late for you guys, and maybe check our show out if you haven't got a chance to watch. We do Snowden on Sunday a little bit earlier for everybody.
Yeah, 5-5. Okay, what's the next Q drop is from Scott. He picked number 1217. I'm sure this is going to be another can of worms. I'm going to check in with the chat, check in with Mermaid. It looks like we have hands up over there, Mermaid.
Yeah, so Lily has a question. Let me open. Go ahead, Lily.
Hi. What I see in the roof is that lines, black lines, from the one building to another. It's like it's not have sense to me. The black lines in the building to another building is not finished in one building.
Mm. Like they're building something, or is it like cut off, like it's like been edited or something?
In the roof, there, the black lines of the pinks. Yes.
Yeah.
In that roof, the black lines of one buildings don't have end. They continue to the another building. Where is the like the man with the red hat?
Yeah. So, okay. Thank you. And maybe I kind of glossed over that and I didn't think in case anyone was unfamiliar. So these supposedly are radio towers. Actually, they're up here on the roof, the high point, and they're radio towers. And this is kind of how you would hide out, right? So Snowden supposedly went to Hong Kong first and then then made his way over to Russia, supposedly. However, what we're seeing here in this picture are these towers. So these are radio, what's the term I'm looking for? Radio poles or signals. So it's not actually, it looks like lines here, but that's why it stops, is these are actually towers on top of this roof here. And then there's this maybe person in a red hat. So this is kind of what we were talking about, is they're communicating this way through radio, because you can't communicate digitally. Everything would get hung up. Sorry, Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, well, you know where it says ident +1 in the Q drop, there's actually 2 people on the roof. So identify +1 is what I'm thinking. If that is Snowden, I'm just, because it looks like Q saying, shall we play a game? Find at Snowden, right? So, okay, so we're looking at a rooftop. You've got those those antennas that you're talking about. Identify +1, maybe. Who are the 2 people? Who's Snowden talking to, perhaps, on top of the roof? Happy hunting. That's kind of how I'm looking at it too. And that was interesting that Lily brought that up. I'm glad she sometimes it takes another digital soldier to make us go back to the Q drop and just take a second look. So who knows? Yeah,
and also sometimes we overlook things, or we think we're not explaining it very well too. So don't ever assume we know everything, or if you guys aren't understanding, please speak up. So thank you for that. Sorry, go ahead, Mermaid.
So I was going to say, I went and did a TinEye of the picture, right? And I saw that there's this article called Bellingcat.com, and it's showing this picture, and it says, so on March 7, 2018, in drop 869, Q posted an image of a bustling market street in East Asia country with a reference to Snowden. And then below, they show a picture from underneath what it could look like from the bottom. And it says, the architecture and commercial profile of the area matches the narrow streets of Mong Kok, a popular shopping district in Hong Kong. A digital stroll through Mong Kok using Baidu Street View system shows a match at the crossroads. So quite interesting. I don't think I'd ever known for sure if that was Hong Kong, but according to it is. Yeah, I'll post it.
Can you post it? Yeah, I want to bring up what you're reading there. Thank you. And that's what's nice, guys, about going over the Q post. Now that we're 3-4 years beyond, is some amazing digital soldiers already did some digs on these different posts. Now, it's one anon's theory or dig, so we always want to still take it with a grain of salt and do our own research, but we can use that to our advantage to see what other people have found here. Also, Tim, I want to look up happy hunting because Q said this more than once, and I mean, there's double meanings there too, right? Hunters become hunted, so these people that have harmed children have been hunted and they're being taken out, but also hunting as in digging, right? So there's a lot of posts there with the happy, not a lot, but can somebody double check VQ if anybody's available, you awesome diggers? Is there a company named Happy Hunting also? I feel like there might be. So just double check that for me. Let me see what Mermaid's got in the chat here for us. She dropped her sauce that she found. Also, I see Dustin had something here, and this was the word I was looking for, is ham radio, okay? So Nellie Orr says, did Nellie Orr use ham radio to circumvent the NSA? And also, guys, back in this time on these Q drops, Q was making it seem like Snowden is the bad guy. I don't understand why they would still play that card unless the deep state didn't know he was, an undercover white hat yet. I'm not quite sure, or, it's still yet to be determined, although Tim and I feel pretty strongly about it. We want you guys to have your own opinions, certainly. So March 7th, 2018. And right here, so that's what Lily was mentioning. Thanks, Lily, by the way, for coming on. Good to hear your voice. So what am I doing here? Well, let me zoom in. Okay, now this is a ham radio. That's why I say we had MCOMs that one time, Tim. We were on MG show. MCOMs is a ham radio specialist. So if anyone else here, ham radio specialist, enthusiast, I guess this is a way for them to circumvent sort of detection, right? So, and that's where, so Dustin just dropped that article. It says, let me just go to it real quick. Did Nellie Orr circumvent the NSA? One fact we know for sure is that Nellie Orr obtained a ham radio during the time she was working for Fusion GPS, okay? This all connects to Spygate. What happened there? I didn't hit anything. To Fusion GPS. That connects to the DNC, the Steele dossier, okay? And remember, Nellie Orr is the wife of Bruce Orr, and Bruce Orr is at the Department of Justice. Q says, how does one agency attach itself to another? That's by marrying, okay? So it says, what we don't know for a fact is why. We can't, however, speculate. We know the NSA gobbles up phone calls and emails, but what they can't monitor are ham radios. At her age, it's hard to believe Orr was taking up the ham radio as a new hobby. A ham radio would allow her to communicate with, say, Christopher Steele, okay, or any of the other co-conspirators in the Trump frame-up, all right? So that's what's happening here. Now, Q is saying, how did I want to put that in the same article here? Okay, so Q is saying, again, they're kind of alluding to Snowden being the bad guy here. So or are the white hats doing that also? Or maybe he's helping intercept those comms. But yeah, Tim, interesting. The IDEN +1. Who else would be the +1 here? And then remember, Shall We Play a Game is based off the movie War Games. Let's actually just put this into QX, see how many times they say that. So I'm going to copy this whole phrase, and we'll go to one of our QAG windows that hasn't been haven't put anything in there yet. So paste this. Shall we play a game? And we get, wow, 22 drops, more than I thought. Man, remember, Tim, I was wondering if those umbrellas were 22. 22, one of Q says, drop the memo, one of 22. Look at it, third to last post, they put this again there. Shall we play a game? Nothing can stop what's coming. Very powerful post talking about the CISA. If you guys aren't familiar with this is the Cyber Security and Infrastructure and Security Agency. I didn't know this either, Tim. It was on one of those videos last night that Donald Trump actually, in an act, I guess maybe executive order, if it's a little bit different, created this agency, which is securing all the infrastructure in the United States. Infrastructure would be our communications, our energy grid, our everything else that would need to be safely monitored. But in particular, they also monitor our elections. And wouldn't you know it, there's a agency within that. It's called National Council of Statewide Interoperability Coordinators. A whole mouthful, but most importantly, it makes this acronym NCSWIC. And just as we get from this post, nothing can stop what is coming. To let us know, they've been planning this for a very, very long time. And Q let us know. I can't tell you how many people, after January 20th, 21, when Joe Biden got inaugurated, people are like, oh, I gave up on Q. They said they were going to do this and that. And like, where do you hear this? Where do you hear this? And that's what's unfortunate, because Q information is difficult to understand. a lot of people rely on a third person to give them the information. Like, no, you got to read the drops, because nowhere in there did they say they're going to storm in and arrest these people on January 20th. In fact, I think it's quite the opposite. We see right here, how do you remove foreign interference and corruption and install U.S.-owned voter ID laws and other safeguards? It had to be this way. Sometimes you must walk through the darkness before you see the light. And we're seeing that play out right now. And all around the country. And every time I say country, guys, I hope you're doing the same thing in your country, wherever you are. Get involved locally. Okay, right now, because of this nonsense that happened, people are going to their local politicians and making sure that U.S. voter ID laws are installed, making sure the voter rolls get purged from all these fake voters or these people that are in nursing homes that can't even vote anymore, that the Democrats used to steal the election in 2020, which, by the way, if you haven't been paying attention, look here, not there. While Ukraine's going on, Wisconsin started the process to decertify their election. They brought out more evidence. Again, more evidence keeps dropping. It's a program called ERIC, which scans through voter ID logs, see who registered years back and then hadn't voted for 5-10 years, cross-referenced it with nursing homes, and they basically got thousands and thousands of votes of people that aren't even physically capable of voting, and then they would steal their vote in the election. It's very, very sick and disturbing to learn, but unfortunately we have to learn this, and we got to start telling people what's happening and get involved locally, guys. Get involved locally. We have the power. We need to vote all these criminal people out.
And I've always said, as bad as you think it is, it's even worse. So, even with some of the most brilliant minds out there, and even if you think like a criminal thinks, you think you'd know it all, right? You think you know what kind of games they are playing, and most people aren't even close. It's wider and deeper than we ever thought, and even Donald Trump alluded to that. He knew there was a swamp, but he never realized how wide and how deep it really was. So that's what we're up against, and that's why we're all banding together, uniting, fighting every single day, and inviting others. So, Kyle, if you want to head over to Diggers, there's been some drops in there too. The Diggers are digging. I'm going to head over to Mermaid and check in on the chat. I think there's some hands up, brother. We'll split up here. Let's that fork in the road. You head over to Diggers. I'll head over to the chat.
Okay, so Kay Kelly, she's been wanting to ask a question. Go ahead, Kay Kelly. Kay Kelly.
Make sure you unmute yourself.
Go ahead, MelzieKaye.
Hi, hold on just a second so I can hear.
MelzieKaye!
Because there's no Q post, it's kind of like no deltas that's interesting, but could you look up 316 Q post? I sent it to you. If you have a chance.
Yeah.
MelzieKaye, unlocked it.
I just want to circle back on that picture that you were.
You there, Kate? We lost you.
Go ahead, Kay.
Oh, thank you. I lost it for a minute there. I'm driving by a mountain. That picture, I just wanted to say that, I don't know if Tim remembers, but we dug on that extensively about a year ago, and it was pretty well determined that was, in fact, that market in Hong Kong, because a lot of Google Earth pictures kind of validated that it was the market in Hong Kong. And we also did a lot of talking about those antennas and all of that. And everyone kind of came to a consensus, as much as you can in Q School, but kind of a consensus that, yes, it probably did connect the Nellie Orr ham radio thing.
Yeah, I remember that. My memory's not near as good as yours or Kyle's. Kyle's got a brilliant memory. I don't even know if you were on that Q School back then, Kyle. We kind of met up about halfway through the Q School movement over there on MG Show. But yeah, I remember that case. So thanks for sharing that. And the Orr, yeah, Nellie Orr, obviously married to Bruce Orr. And which one was which again, Kyle? You have a good memory. So Bruce Orr was what, and what was Nellie Orr? One was CIA, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Who was in the CIA?
Nellie Orr's CIA, and Bruce Orr is in the Department of Justice.
Wow, nice bedfellows. Department of Justice with the CIA.
Right. Says it's, and then so Melzie too. Why'd you want us to look at 316? So we can go back to that too. And thank you, Kay. Awesome, because we went to that post twice, and I think I must have missed that one time when Tim did it on Q School when I wasn't there every day, but in the very beginning. But then we went back to it, and I said MCOM's had some good stuff, but for whatever reason, when we went back the second time, we didn't have quite that depth that people had actually looked on Google Earth to find out that sure enough, that was most likely Hong Kong. My intuition was telling me that it was, so that's kind of just nice confirmation, even when we did that a while back. But thanks for the other confirmation. Some other people pointed out, Tim did too, VQ. There's interesting that's, kind of screams Ukraine. Some people were asking if maybe Snowden is actually in Ukraine. I'm not sure. I don't want us to get off track, but I love that we're thinking like that as well too. So thank you for that. Melzie, why'd you want us to look at 316 here? There's a lot to this post.
I lost her, but I think she's thinking of the date, the third month, the 16th day.
Oh, I got you.
316.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's great because there's no post on any March 16th date on 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, I love where you're thinking.
Exactly, that's why.
Yeah, I love how you're thinking.
I think there's something to it, and I mean, I just glanced at it. I'm working, and so I looked at the first part. It's long, but the first part caught my eye. So I think there's a reason why there's no delta, and that's the way my mind thinks, And it's also like 6 can be versed as 9, so it could be 913. I looked at that too, but I think this is more pertaining to now.
Awesome. No, this makes a lot of sense because this is a weird post anyways, how it's done. It's like an anonymous person, this is, see how it's embedded. We got the dark square. Anonymous person is kind of sharing a bunch of old Q posts or conversations from the chans, right? So, but why did they link it this way? Why are these different timestamps? I really think you're onto something there, Melzie, with that. So let's just cover some of the topics. Martial law. So again, this is from an anonymous person, what I'm about to read here. And again, we're covering 316 because there's no Q post on March 16th, even in 2018, 2019, or 2020. No post on that day. Interesting. So now we go to 316. This anonymous person, the different conversations happen on the chans. Martial law starting the 11th, question mark. I like subject Q. And again, if you guys are the autists and in there, keep an eye on the timestamps. I'm not sure what to make of it, but I'm just going to scroll. If you guys see anything, speak up. Yes, felt that speech was odd. Now, Tim and I actually did this speech. We listened to this speech. Remember that, Tim? And we listened to it on Q School. We should do this again because it is really powerful, and it obviously gets brought up here. So, yes, felt that speech was odd last night, but in a good way. POTUS stands for President of the United States. Anybody new here? Emphasis and speech patterns. We need to go back and listen closely. He did emphasize words used by Q and POTUS's Twitter. Find Right Side Broadcasting Network on YouTube. Then another one, U.S. military will be the strongest in the world. The speech yesterday was bomb AF. Re-listen to POTUS's speech. Re-listen to Pelosi's seizure. Yes, I was stuck. That should be struck, but interesting. Stuck by how that speech paralleled the themes you've been posting here. Looking at the map gives a good idea of the operations ahead. I just want to say this, guys. We got to be mindful that Anons sometimes do make mistakes, and then Q will repost them. But also, there are helper Anons. So I don't want us to go down a rabbit hole. But this is interesting that R is missing because let me show you one more thing. Let me finish this post out. Look at now the R is missing, and look at we get Renegade next. Okay, doesn't seem like that's an accident. I think this whole thing is some sort of decode. But wait till it gets even crazier than that. Let me keep going. That says connect the markers. Okay. Are these relevant? I've still never fully understood what this exactly means. There's different markers. Even that speech we show with Ezra Cohen and Chris Miller in December of 2020, and he says, thanks, Mark, or he says Mark, really odd. Is that a marker? I don't fully understand that. Are these relevant? Now, let me lose my train of thought here. The proposed change to the Lord's Prayer is not the point. The point is that Q revealed that this was known a month before it was revealed publicly. Q wants us to understand that what is in the map is real, and this provides the evidence for it. The important point is justice. Again, these are all different comments on the boards, okay? None of this is Q yet. POTUS's speech used terms found in the map. More evidence that truth is being revealed. Q is legit, and justice is being served. We need to assemble and spread the map now and demonstrate why it is true due to the news proofs contained within it. Notice Q is in a different color, something to keep in mind for the future in case it becomes something relevant like Monday in yesterday's post. Justice, his speech in Pensacola mentioned the U.S. military providing justice throughout the world. I hope that isn't just standard neocon justification to be the world's policeman. Okay, now here's Q and some of these different posts that they highlighted, I think. Q responds, and I think they even have a couple different Q responses. So this is a really odd post. I'm not quite familiar with it, but now, Melzie, I think you're really onto something that really, I love it, how you guys' brains work. What has been said about the U.S. military? This is Q. And this is another previous post. Maybe we can figure out what exactly number post this is, guys. The speech yesterday verified and unlocked so much. Expand your thinking. Reread crumbs. Re-listen to yesterday's speech. And Tim, we should do that again soon. Connect the markers. News in all forms unlocks the map. Expand your thinking. The Great Awakening, Q. And then a couple more here. We love our U.S. military. On behalf of an entire nation, thank you for your sacrifice and service. Timestamp, how many clues must we provide? Now, let me do one more thing before I go back to my partner and let you brilliant minds share your insights. This was standing out to me. And then again, I don't want to get off track because maybe it's just an accident, but I was stuck. It just stands out to me that obviously the R is missing. I was struck by how that speech paralleled. But now check this out. When we go, shall we play a game, which came up from our very first post that we started with right here that randomly got picked by an anon, right? Our quantum computer. Shall we play a game? So I went to the shall we play a game post, and I had it on the last post first. And then look at this one that stood out. So I showed this one, okay, nothing can stop what's coming. But the next one that caught my attention, which is coming up on a March 17th Delta. Okay, I don't think these are accidents, guys. There's just too many coincidences in my mind. Okay, so I'm going to do 3109 first. Thanks for playing at Jack. This is March 17th, so this will be a 3-year Delta. All right, thanks for playing at Jack. Showing your hand was the intended target. The strike will be fast. Shall we play a game? So it seems like the T is missing there, but strike is a type of weapon, I think, right here, right? So but then 3110, they embed it. What's the timestamp here, Tim? 5 seconds and 1 minute, 1:05. Okay, thanks for playing at Jack. Showing you. Okay, here's that. And then Q responds, strike, on the move. Okay, and we just started coming into some of these Q posts with the on the move. So that just seemed odd to me that the R was missing. And this one, it's flip-flopped. The T is there, but the R is missing. Now, SRIKE is a type of weapon system, I believe, if somebody can verify that for me. But wow, that's really interesting. All these connections. We get shall we play the game in there. And then, of course, this 316 post has the R missing here. And then the very next post has Renegade. So, man, there's something big here. I don't fully understand it, but I'm going to just leave that up for you guys to help me out and help Tim out. What do you think, Tim? Tim might be digging on something.
Yeah, no, I'm here having trouble with my device here. I dug up 105 for you. I'll read it quickly. That timestamp difference 105, Q drop 105 is from November 5th of 2017. So really early on, first week of Q drops actually back in 2017. Timestamp is 1954-47, and it says, please pray. Operators are in harm's way, high risk, high value targets. Please pause and give thanks to those who would die to save our republic. More to follow. Q.
Oh yeah,
kind of right in line with what you're talking about.
Yeah, and especially with that being like a military operation, right? The strike will be fast. Shall we play a game? It's talking about the movie, literally War Games, right? I almost want to play that little scene since Shall We Play the Game pops up. But Mermaid, we got anybody with a hand up or anything? Anybody standing out with anything in the diggers? I'm going to hop over there right now on diggers.
So Rebel has a question right now. Go ahead, Rebel.
And now y'all follow Q post, Miss Mermaid, evening.
Good evening.
Question: when POTUS says and speaks to China, how does he spell it?
CHYNA, China.
Do you know there's a Spotliv China in Ukraine? I'll drop a
I've heard
picture
of
in Diggers. You can grab it and put it up.
Yeah, thank you. I just heard about this
Spelled.
recently. Anything else to add about that?
So just come across it sitting in here listening to y'all. I don't know. Just sent me that way.
Right on. Thank you, man. Welcome to Q School. I think I saw you in the chat there. You got some interesting pictures. I always like to kind of check out what you guys got on here. But yeah, thanks for adding that. Anything else while you're on? All right. Well, thanks for sharing. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm going to check that out here. Yeah, so very interesting, right? You said it comes from China, and there's a city there in Ukraine, and we'll get to that in just a second. I'm scrolling some of these other digs you guys got here. Oh, China has become the happy hunting ground. Nice dig, Smiley Sun here. Finance, there's major components of the financial markets, guys, with the Q posts, and I think they point to stuff all the time kind of indirectly. But here's the title of an article, and this is how you guys know when we read Q posts, we'll know when an article comes out that's relevant to Q stuff. China has become the happy hunting ground for European asset shoppers as trade war drags on. Sapped U.S. acquisitions.
Damn.
Very interesting. If anybody reads through that and wants to come on and just give us the gist of it, please let us know. I'm going to save that for later to study to later on. So thank you guys. Nice dig. There's what was that name again? Smiley something. That was funny. Smiley Sun here. Thank you. Nice dig. Okay, we got Wikipedia about happy hunting. So VQ. So is there actually a company? Is this a book? What is this, a movie? Musical. Happy Hunting is a 1956 musical with a book. That's interesting. Okay, have to look at that a little bit later if anyone knows anything else about that one.
And the diggers are digging tonight. I love this. That's how this quantum computer works, man. It's you and I and Q and all of you. I love it. I just love this, Kyle.
Yeah. So Mermaid got some screenshots, I think. I think she read this to us March 7th, 2018. In Drop 869, Q posted an image of bustling Market Street in an East Asia country with reference to Edward Snowden and the accompanying text. In the bottom right-hand corner above a meat stall and on several banners in the center of the image, Chinese characters can be seen but are not completely legible, bearing in mind that Snowden first fled to Hong Kong. It's a good place to start as good a place as any. Architecture, commercial profile of the area matches the narrow streets of Mongkok. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. A popular shopping district in Hong Kong. A digital trawl through Mongkok using Baidu Street View system shows a match of the crossroads of Nelson Street and Canton Street. So it looks like these guys have found this. And again, thank you, Mermaid, and thank you, Kate Kelly, for letting us know all that great stuff. And just read the rest. Importantly, Q's image shows this intersection from high above, though not from a bird's eye view. This suggests that the photographer was standing in a tall building to the east. The most obvious candidate is the nearby Cordis Hotel. Okay, I remember that. It's not actually not a satellite photo. It's actually maybe a hotel right next to it. Let's see if that comes up here. Let's see. Is this the same thing? Is this different? Okay, here we go. Here's the rest of the same. Okay, let me just keep going here. Images posted by guests of the hotel and tagged at the location confirm this match further. In December 2020, one visitor to the Cordis posted a panorama photo of the Mongkok skyline. The bottom left shows the same intersection in detail. So it's a slightly different, but I guess if you were, maybe they're in some room there, so they can only get so
I can
much.
see the building. I can see the building in that photograph. Use your mouse to look. Right there. Yep, there it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then look at this too. Are those lights down there? That's interesting. If that's like a busy street, the picture that they showed, it seems like it's all, got the umbrellas out and stuff. Maybe it was certain a special event or something too. I don't know. Maybe it could be. Okay, let's see what the rest of this says. Nevertheless, it should be noted that the screenshot of Q's image from the Cordis Hotel was created by a user in the Pacific time zone, from which it can be inferred either that Q did not post all images live and might have selected it from their own old photos, or that Q was posting images they had received from a contact. Very interesting dig there from those guys. And then I think we got one more section of this. Let's see. And thank you, Mermaid, wherever you found this. And I love the screenshots because then I can just bring them up for us to lead. Looks like some of this is cut off on this one. Or why is it being weird to me? Okay, that's why. All right, so on February 14th, 2019, don't know why it won't let me like zoom over there. Okay, February 14th, 2019, Q posted drop 2706, which included a photo of a shopping street somewhere in a Chinese-speaking country. Unlike the previous two images, which each image contained a famous skyscraper, this image was unremarkable. However, as a close-up image, it did show several names of businesses such as these symbols here, Old Brother Zhao, China Minxing Bank, as well as SPA Shilitang Beauty Spa. Interesting. Q's talking about the spa. And we also have the Leonardo Spa, which was involved in the 2020 election theft. Also known by its English name, Silk Tone Spa. Two of these are businesses names concentrated in Guangxiangui, a city in southwest China.
They're always
So I
throwing
don't know what
tongue
to make of that.
twisters.
Mermaid.
Yeah, Kyle. Go to that Chongqing, highlight that, and drop that in the QA search. Chongqing. There's a Q drop with that. I'm sure there's at least one. And then also Brother Scott, one of our beautiful managers. He's our late night. He takes care of the streaming here, late night here on our channel. Thanks, Scott, for everything you're doing. He dropped something in Diggers too, which is interesting. War Games. Shall we play a game? It's a little YouTube video clip there also. But let's see what that Chongqing. I know that Q alluded to that.
Yeah, and that's I think is that Q shared that little. That's like a trailer from the video. Wow, look at 5 drops even, Tim. Good eye. Good job. So let's see here. Let's start with the first one. Okay, so where are we at? April of 2018. So China, Guangxing, Tuesday. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Apologies for anyone that speaks Chinese or Mandarin. Let's see this other one here. So 11/18. So this is an anonymous person shares an article from New York Times, Business International, China's embrace of foreign cars. First word in the article is Chongqing. For more than a decade, Chinese automakers have been talking about starting large-scale exports to North America and Europe, prompting periodic worries in the West that companies like General Motors, Ford, and Volkswagen might be crippled by Chinese competition the way they were by Japanese imports a generation ago. Q just reposted that with no comment. I truly believe that means good job. You're on the right track. Keep going. So there's something to do with that. And then a few more of these. Let's see. Mermaid, you want to read this one?
Sure. What's the
It's
number?
11:20.
Yeah, so it says 4/10/2018, 11:20 says clarify. Chongqing, Tuesday, demand. Xi, confirm tariff reduction. Tuesday, China. Cars, article provides foundation. Major import. Ford, U.S. Start. Q.
Man, Tim, I feel like we're just opening a whole can of worms here. I don't even know where to go with this one. Oh man,
I know that's what I love about Q School. You never know where you're going to end up going here with these Q drops.
Yeah, here's some more. So 2516. So that sounds around similar to that dig we just did there. We just had up. But let's see, I got so many tabs open. Anon's geolocated last pick, as in this showing China Hyatt Regency players 8 players. I think of the gang of 8. I don't know. Watch the news. Okay, news unlocks the map. And then we got one more post with that in here. So now it's embedded in 2517. It's 5 minutes 23 seconds later. We'll bring up that post in just a second. And then Q responds with their own picture of a Chinese Air China aircraft, H103. Okay, everything shared has a purpose and a meaning. Okay, I don't know what H103 might be, how that's relevant. And then it just says 2576 as the image name, but we're not on 2576 yet. That's really interesting. Got to look up that too.
Q drop 523, and the timestamp is from January 13th to 2018 with a timestamp of 22:36:29. Says checkmate. Q.
Oh man. Wow. Okay, so the Air China has to pop up with a checkmate January 13th, 2018, which is similar to right around the time 3-year Delta when possibly the Insurrection Act was signed after the Capitol incident. Wow. And then 2576 is the image name, which would be a future drop since 2576 wasn't a known drop yet. Those with the most to lose are the loudest. Those who knowingly broke the law and a coordinated effort, treason, are the most vocal. Crimes against humanity. Q. And then let's take a look at that Twitter post from Samantha, probably a blue check mark. What do you know? A blue check mark clown. Is she the one screaming, "Stop this," headline writers? If you want to quote this president in a headline, in an age when many people read only headlines, you must write, "Trump, a proven serial liar, says ... but best not to quote him in a headline. So clearly Samantha J. Power panicking.
Yeah, but look what the headline says underneath right there. Yeah.
Trump says prosecutors have found no evidence of Russia collusion, and that's still strong standing there too. So
yeah, he's right again. Right again. The blue check marks are scrambling, they're panicking. All those blueies. The blue anons. We call them the blue anons.
So let me find that one where the that little let's play that little video with the what's it called when you preview a movie. Man, I'm spacing words again today, guys. Trailer. The trailer.
You're doing great, Carl. You're doing great.
Yeah,
It's the trailer. We got
what'd
you,
you say,
brother.
Marie?
Quantumly, we'll tell you when you forget.
Is that a preview?
Yeah, preview. Where's the one? Did Scott? Did you share the? Where's it got? I know there's like the trailer to War Games with Shall We Play a Game in it? Because I got to take a quick bathroom break so I could play that. Or actually, I guess maybe Scott, we could switch to his screen. Maybe that's a little confusing. I thought they shared the link to the War Games on one of these posts. Did I miss it?
It's on Diggers down at the bottom.
Okay, but I thought it was in a Q post though. Did I miss that? I got Fox News, DNI. I thought for sure they shared it. Maybe they replied and it's not the actual post that has "Shall we play a game" in it? I'm confused. All right, well, let's check it. Let's just play that. I got to take a quick bathroom break anyways. We got all kinds of amazing stuff in Diggers here. More Happy Hunting stuff. It is Happy Hunting Incorporated, Florida Domestic Profit Corporation. Okay, we got to look into this. It's in Florida too. And that name stands out to me. Is that a Ukrainian language or what is this APOPKA? What is that, Russian or Ukrainian? What is that language? I know that's a city, but Indian Navy tweets happy hunting. Yeah, you guys are just freaking phenomenal today. Smiley Sun here. Thank you. VQ. Got to dig all these things up here. Brian S. Ware, the SZA guy. Yeah, he's the one that left the company. This is unrelated, but it's a great video about this brilliant doctor talking about the vaccines. Why did that get shared? Is that separate? Okay, let's see. More stuff with happy hunting. No events, no name history. Florida Profit Corporation, Happy Hunting Incorporated. Man, if you guys are good at digging on financial things, let me know if you guys find something in here. And I knew that. I thought there was. Sunbiz, talk about the other nod and synchronicity. Sunbiz.org. And, of course, VQ, but also Smiley Sun here is dropping bombs on the Happy Hunting Incorporated. And Ohio. NPR.org. Why is this shared? So many election finding wins happening. Amen to that. Okay. Nye County, Nevada. Is this more election stuff? Yeah, looks like it. Oh, here, IDEN. Integrated Digital Enhanced Network is a mobile telecommunications technology developed by Motorola, which provides its users the benefit of a truncated radio and a cellular telephone. It was called the first mobile social network by many technological industrial analysts. Great dig. AZ Elements, do you want to add anything else about that? I'm not familiar with what the heck that even means, a truncated radio or trunked radio. Okay, it's okay if you don't have that, though, but great dig. Midnight Rider, what you got here, Dustin? What's this? Dozens killed by you. Is that current event? Snowden governments are threatened by crypto. Lots of stuff dropping here. Here we go. Yeah, this is us getting cozy. Oh man, I love it. Highlander, nice drop. Okay, Scott's got the QAnon map. Okay, here we go. Here's this. Let's play this little. I swear that Q dropped this. So if anyone can find where that's actually at, I thought they dropped this this trailer for us to watch for some reason. I know we were going to watch it. It's a little bit shorter than I thought. I guess I got to hurry. But any last thoughts? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, the brain can only assimilate what the back
Right?
end can tolerate. Yeah, so you need to get up.
I love that one, especially everybody's digging and stuff too. So, all right, I'll be right back. We'll play this one.
They do. How can I talk? It's not a real voice. This box just interprets signals from the computer and turns them into sound. Shall we play a game? Oh.
I think I missed him.
Yeah, weird, isn't it? Love to. How about a global thermonuclear war? Wouldn't you prefer a good game of chess? Later. Let's play global thermonuclear war. Fine. All right.
All right, so I wasted my time on that. So we'll get another video to play in a second. But let's go open up the lines here for a minute and make sure. How's our time doing, Tim? Where are we at?
Yeah, we're just a little bit over an hour, brother. That was quite the power hour right there. That's only one Q drop that we started with. That was VQ's Q drop. We still have to go over to Scott's Q drop here in the second half of the show. And it's I took a little glance at it earlier on in the show, and it's about the Podesta emails. So I'm sure we're going to crack open another can of Q worms here, brother. So yeah, go ahead and play a quick video if you want. You got to relieve yourself, or I can make some announcements. Up to you, brother. But yeah, whatever you need to do over there.
Yeah, and so and 302 Rebel came on here. Thank you. Here's the name of that city in China where the biolabs seem to be connected. I don't know if we know.
You
for
mean
sure.
in Ukraine? In Ukraine, you said in China.
China.
Yeah.
China's the city in Ukraine. Thank you,
Nice catch,
China.
Timbo.
That's where it comes from. It comes from China. Okay, so here's some more images from there. Great digs, guys. Let's see. Missile warning. Yeah, this is from the movie War Games. I don't even know how you got a little GIF of this. Great job there, Patriot MS. Always dropping bombs like usual. What's this one? 46 años, China. Oh, China the wrestler. Interesting. X22. Okay, so anybody got what's the video? Dustin, can you come on the mic real quick?
Read that header on that wrestler.
Okay. Yeah, China, and that's how she spelled her name. CH.
Mermaid will probably have to read it. Expand that if you would.
Okay. Yeah, I can't blow this one up for some reason in the chat. It doesn't let me do that.
Okay.
So Mermaid, you want to read this in Spanish? And then that's the wrestler's name is spelled CHYNA. That makes me think of the VKM YouTube channel. Are they still up on YouTube?
That's China.
Right. That's but you know about the VKM channel, yeah?
Yeah.
For VKM, excuse me. Go ahead, Mermaid. You want to read that? I'll be right back.
Yeah, so you guys want me to read it in Spanish? There we go. China, la estrella de la lucha WWE, que en la década de 1990 se convirtió en una de las mujeres luchadoras más populares y conocidas, murió a los 46 años, formaba parte de un grupo de luchadores apoyados de Generación X. So anyway, yeah, she was a wrestler that died at the age of 46. She was one of the best known female wrestlers. So that's what it says.
But if you look at it in English as you're sitting there, 45 anons, China, Q, I mean, that just plus WWE.
I love the way you think, Scott.
So that's what stood out to me. It was like, wow.
I heard the tail end. 40 años. Anons Q.
No. And if you look at it in English and you don't know Spanish, right?
Right.
So you got 45 anos, which is anons, China, and then the word Q,
right,
plus WWE, which all relates to Trump.
Right. Interesting. I see 46. So where's your 45 at?
Oh, that might be my glasses. I'm looking at it real small here.
It is kind of tiny. Wow, very interesting. Let me just pop over and see if I can find this channel real quick. We also got Q clearance here. So YouTube, I don't even know if it'd still be up for VKM. Probably wouldn't let me search it like this. Oh, it is still up. Here's the channel, guys. For VKM on YouTube still, and I know they transferred over some of their stuff. Enjoy the show. Watch some of those videos. You want to get your mind blown a little bit. I wonder if there's a small one. I'm not even going to leave it. Yeah. Check out that channel. You're welcome. Okay, so let's get back on track here, Tim. So, or Lexi, Diggers, are we caught up? Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I think we are. So we need to head over to Scott Rodermoyer tonight. Gave us the Q drop number 1217 at the beginning of the show. Thanks, Scott, for joining us here. I'm seeing if he's still in the room. Hopefully he's here to listen to his Q drop being unfolded live here on Q School Diggers. Where are you, Scott? Did we lose you? Oh, no. Please be here, Scott. Yeah, he's in there. Good. Okay,
Yeah,
I just saw it. Thank you. All right, brother.
Okay, so that's our second number we got picked. So that was, let's see, I'm going to go back, get rid of this one. I know I got it still up somewhere here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so the two numbers we randomly picked allegedly was 869 and then 1217, or what did Scott want? Is that what he picked?
1217 he picked, yeah. Along with Game Over. So we've got the game from VQ and Game Over with Scott. And they're still side by side in the channel, in the chat, believe it or not. That's amazing.
Now, does anybody know why? Is that like how it's set up on the Q? So see, there's this blue. Okay, so they do it intentionally, I think. I wonder why they do it that way. Maybe because you can't put a link on the chans. So this happens a lot. If you click a link, it's weird that it looks like it's a link, but then you got to delete the space in between there. So I guess copy it and then paste it and then delete it. But when I hit it, it would say, if you saw that, it says, you know, error or no link. But then if you just go in and delete that space, then it comes up. So this is WikiLeaks. This is from a Podesta email. Let's see how long this is. It's a little bit long. Maybe it would take us like 10 minutes. We could.
Yeah, that's not bad. Let's go through it. I mean, there's a reason why you have to think. Why would Q share and like use up an entire Q drop with just a WikiLeaks link? We really need to pay attention to this, brother.
Yeah, and it's not as long as I thought, because there's some sections where it's all just the names of people attached. So is Southern Gal on the on Q School right now?
Check in with Mermaid there. We've got a packed house here tonight, so that might take 10 minutes just to search her out here. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Southern Gal, raise your hand if you hear us. Okay. If any, sometimes we like to have just different readers on here because it's nice to switch up. But Mermaid, you good to go to read some of this with me?
Yes. Can you start? For some reason, it's not allowing me to open WikiLeaks. I'm trying though.
So so you got to make sure you delete that little space in between there. So this is what it does for me. It looks like that, right? So I'll hit, click the link, and then this always pops up on me. It says 20%. If you go up in there, what I just do is delete that 20% part, which I guess is probably where that gap was. So I delete that, and then it comes up for me. Did you see how I did that?
I did. Let me see if it'll work for me.
You could also just hit copy this link, paste it into your URL, and then just go back in there and delete that little space.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do that real quick. If you want to start, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's see what we got here. So this is from the WikiLeaks. So Q specifically linked this. Says from Jay Benson. Any idea who that might be, guys? Maybe drop that in diggers. Jay Benson at BSGCO. I'm guessing that's some sort of company. Not sure what that means. Okay. So let's see. Kind of scan what we're coming up against here. Subject. So this is from January 14th, 2015. Got timestamps on these too. That's interesting. Cheryl Mills is CC'd in here. This HR Coffis, not sure that. Robbie Mook, not sure. Huma, there we go. Huma Abedin is in here. John at ALG Polling. Not quite familiar with who all these people are. So let's see. It's coming from Jay Benson. So I'm going to start reading. Let me know if you have any trouble still, Mermaid.
I'm opening it now. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll just get started, and then Mermaid and I will go back and forth here. So again, and try, Mermaid, before we start a next email, just kind of give us a heads up who it's from, who it's going to. So again, this is Jay Benson, not sure who that is, BSGCO, and it goes to N. Merrill at hrcoffis.com, Robbie Mook, 2015, and then Cheryl Mills is CC'd, PIR, Huma Abed. I'm assuming this is Huma Abedin, HUMA at HR Coffis. I don't know what this HR Coffis is. Gruncom at AOL. John at ALG Polling. And DS Sherwin or D Sherwin at HR Coffis. Not familiar with who these people are yet, but let's dig into it. So I'll read a couple paragraphs, and if you can follow along with, I'll read this whole one till Joel, and then you can read the next one.
Sure.
Apparently, Kyle, the VQ just dropped that Joel Benison, CEO of Benson STR Group, senior strategist and pollster to President Obama and Hillary Clinton, at Al Benson's husband, proud dad, #Yankees. So New Yorker, I guess, but that's who that is.
Thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Tim, for keeping an eye on the chat. Guys are just dropping bombs there. Thank you, VQ, just Rockstar Digital Soldier, Joel Benson, blue check mark, boop, boop, blue check mark clowns. Okay, we got there's this little picture. CEO of Benson Strategy Group, strategist and pollster. So to President Obama and Hillary Clinton. So yeah, these are just these people doing the different polls and getting the information on, helping them with their campaign. So we'll see how this thing pans out here. HRC office, maybe Scott said, and the HRC office, yeah, Smiley Sun's rocking it. Scott, thank you. Also, you guys doing some good stuff here. So I'll read the first email, and then
we got. You want to check with the chat? We got a hand up before you start reading.
Yeah.
Let's check, Mermaid.
Yeah, now it's perfect.
Yeah. So, D&D, go ahead.
No, not D&D. No.
Okay, let me read it. Go ahead, D&D.
No, you're all good. I was just going to say it's a HRC office, but then Robbie Mook is also one of Hillary's campaign advisors. And I'm dropping that wiki right now.
Okay. Any other names that you know on there?
I don't think so. I think you already got the other ones.
Okay. Right on.
Which one was John?
What's that?
Which one was John?
Yeah, I don't know. Is John Podesta in these or not? I don't know if he is, even though it said Podesta. So maybe PIR or...
No, right there at the bottom, right before the numbers. Yeah, John right there.
Yeah. Which John? ALG Polling. So I'm guessing that's not Podesta, or does Podesta own that? Is that part of his company too, ALG Polling?
Well, wasn't he part of the polling with HRC?
I guess. I don't know. That's not my kind of expertise here. It says Podesta emails.
You want me to start, or do you want to start?
No, I'll do this first one. We're just kind of trying to figure out who's who and everything. So, okay, we'll figure it out. It'll make sense here. Let's read. So, again, this is from Joel Benson. Let me show his mug one more time so everybody knows who we're talking about. Okay, Joel Benson, CEO of Benson Strategy Group. Okay, he was a pollster for President Obama and Hillary Clinton. Proud dad, #Yankees, so probably from New York. bsgco.com. Maybe if you guys want to dig in the background, see if anything pops up with that company. We'll see what pans out here. Looks like somebody's already got Jangram, Pentagon contractors. Okay, Ukrainian biolabs. Great job, Grand Jam. We'll cover that in a little bit. Let's stay on what we're covering here right now, though. All right. We are all focused. This is from Joel to all those other people who are CC'd in there. It was specifically to N. Merrill and Robbie Mook, but all these other people are CC'd in here. We are all focused on getting diversity, and we have to get there. But we also have a lot of big jobs to fill in the next few months, and I think we have to try to slow down our process. We have a handful of people right now, and given the leaks that are occurring in the last week, I actually think we have to shut down the process now to the 1 to 2 essential posts that need filling soon and build the diverse team we need from there. Excuse me. These stories will only hurt us if we keep pushing hard and get too much chatter out there. I think we have to settle on what roles need to be filled immediately and limit our activity to that. If we can create a silent period, for a couple of weeks and possibly slow down the press appetite, we can buy ourselves some space to fill in the team we want and need. This would starving the beast instead of feeding it. Wow. I think as we continue to search, we have to, there's so many misspellings here. We have to one person assigned to each post, talking to only the people we need to talk, and expand that search process when we run into a dead end. It seems clear that multiple people talking to multiple people is not a strategy for containment, and containment has to be a top priority for the next 6 weeks, I think. We face risks with either approach, but I think we have seen what happens when we're all reaching out, and I don't think that's getting us where we want. Joel. And just a recap to what the date was. So I remember, okay, January of 2015. So Donald Trump had not come down the escalator yet. I believe that happened in June of 2015, but certainly Hillary Clinton was getting prepped to be the next president of the United States after her term of Secretary of State with Obama, is where we're at. January of 2015. But pause 1 second here live. Just shouting out some of our old friends. D&D, I think he went on to work with some Patriots in the conservative news. Mermaid also went on. Huffed, was it Enoch or Epic Times? Or I'm missing some names. Anyway, shout these guys. What else was I going to say there with that email? Dang it, lost my train of that. I'm going to let it roll. Never mind. Love, love, love. So here's the next one from Nick, and Mermaid's going to read this one.
Yes.
Robbie.
So Nick Merrill, Tuesday, January 13th, 2015.
Oh,
to
look
Robbie
at this.
Mook.
So sorry, Mermaid, to cut in. This one it had the names, probably because it's stored in his address book. So this is way better. I guess we should have looked at this first. But we got Cheryl Mills, Felipe Raines, Huma Abedin, Mandy Grunwald, John Azalone, that's probably the ALG polling person, Dan Sherwin, Joel Benison, John Podesta, and Jim Margolis.
So the subject is regarding follow-up media call. Robbie claims he's 1/16th Apache, so we should be all set. Kidding aside, do we have any diversity we can point to at this stage? On January 13th, Robbie Mook wrote, a lot of white guys. On Tuesday 13th, 2015, Cheryl Mills wrote, Nick, if we are going to share names or themes, we should strive for more diversity beyond gender in the line up or focus. CDM. On January 13th, 2015, Nick Merrill, here's the draft of the memo for feedback, both attached and below. Earned media / next steps. January 2015. Objective, as media attention increasingly turns to 2016 and Secretary Clinton continues to move forward towards a decision, we want to be proactive in shaping a public narrative that does 3 things. 1, explains on our own terms who she's meeting and talking with, both in terms of potential campaign hires and policy advisors. She's casting a wide net, looking for the best talent and listening to people with bold ideas from across the party. Notably, she is specifically reaching out to progressive policy experts and to people in the Obama orbit, demonstrating that she is doing things differently this time. She will be positioned to run a thoughtful, successful, forward-looking, and technologically advanced campaign should she decide to run. 2, provides cover and context for recruiting the best people and appealing to those who are looking for signals about whether this is something that they want to be a part of. 3, begins to build energy and enthusiasm among Democrats for a forward-looking potential candidacy that will offer a bold vision for the future, placing a story, as discussed on our call. We are all in agreement that the time is right. Place a story with a friendly journalist in the coming days that positions us as little more transparently while achieving the goals above. You want me to continue?
So yeah, we'll pause right there for just a second. I see in the chat, Grace says, what does the blue check mark mean? Tim found a nice Urban Dictionary. Someone on Twitter who thinks they're famous, but in reality, nobody has heard of. Usually a B-list celebrity or a journalist who writes for a little-known leftist publication. The main factor which separates them from the verified accounts belonging to real celebrities is that the blue check marks lack the self-awareness to realize that nobody really cares about their opinions, yet they act as though they are God's gift to political discourse as they spout their self-righteous hot takes on Twitter. That's from Urban Dictionary. But yeah, the blue check marks just mean all the people it's on every platform, right? Instagram or Telegram, they have a blue check mark, which kind of gives them some sort of validity. Like I say, I liken it to the white lab coat that when they speak, humans just naturally believe what they say more. If you have a white lab coat on, it's similar thing in the digital space is these people have blue check marks like Maggie Haberman or all these different people that kind of give them validity, but it's not really necessarily. So we call it something else kind of on the chans, but I say blue check mark clowns here.
Blue check mark,
a little more derogatory.
No, I'm a blue check mark
there, but that's just what it is the blue check mark. So yeah. So who is he talking about here? What lady was it? I missed this. Remember this part you just read about she casting a wide net. Who is this talking about?
About HRC.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you, Hillary Clinton. So again, you guys are seeing that like direct behind the scenes how they, shape their narrative and how they control things during the, political discourse. Some of this is normal politics, I would say, but you'll see as we keep reading some other highlights. One other highlight I want to think is a lot of this conversation is on January 13th, 2015. Tim, how about full circle in all the different connections we keep making here? Was where was that timestamp? If I got a million up here, where was it? 5:23. Hold on. So we did another timestamp. I probably moved that off, but it was 5:23 was the change in time from one of the posts we did. And check that out. So we just covered this post today. 5:23 checkmate. Look at the date, January 13th.
There's a boom in the house. Boom, boom.
So 3-year delta on that. So anyways, let's get back to this happy hunting here in the WikiLeaks. I guess this is not happy hunting, but we are hunting. So Mermaid just did a great reading here of the first part of that, placing a story, et cetera, how they do that. As discussed in our call, we're all in agreement that the time is right to place probably a story with a friendly journalist in the coming days that positions a little more transparently while achieving the above goals. So this is really where it starts getting really important is we're going to get into Maggie Haberman. Q's talked about Maggie Haberman a lot, and I'm pretty sure right in here it talks about having her tee up stories for us. So I'll read this next part because it still goes a little ways, Mermaid, so I'll have you back on in a minute. I'll pick it up right here. So this is the who of, I guess, who they're looking for. For something like this, especially in the absence of us teasing things out to others, we feel that it's important to go with what is safe and what has worked in the past, the same playbook over and over, and to a publication that will reach industry people for recruitment purposes, like New York Times or Politico. We have has a very good relationship with Maggie Haberman of Politico over the last year. We have had her tee up stories for us before and have never been disappointed. While we should have a larger conversation in the near future about a broader strategy for re-engaging the beat press that covers Hillary Clinton, for this we think we can achieve our objective and do the most shaping by going to Maggie. What? Mechanically, the story will have 3 basic components. First, a list of names that we agree upon beforehand that will give to a reporter on background, both policy people and campaign people. Second, some information provided on background that explains what is happening and why. And third, a quote on the record that affirms all of this is in an official capacity, making clear that this is a sanctioned story. See how they make themselves credible by going to the media? They're all in their pocket. One names A policy, one, Joe Stiglitz, two, Paul Volcker. More names available if and when it's helpful, and we should revisit if and how to give people a heads up beforehand. Okay, B, the campaign. John, Joel, and Robbie are already out there. Teddy Goff, Wendy Clark. On background, and as someone familiar with HRC's thinking, after the midterms, HRC turned in earnest to thinking through a decision, as she always said she would. She's taking on the two big questions she posed at the end of her book. What's your vision for America? Yeah, what is it? And can you lead us there? During the midterm campaign, you heard her lay out a lot of challenges we face, particularly stagnant incomes and the middle class squeeze that is preventing a lot of Americans from feeling the recovery. So now she's focusing on potential solutions. She's casting a wide net with a particular emphasis on new voices and new ideas. I'm sure this is like their rough draft of what they're going to say about Hillary Clinton. Talking to Joel Stiglitz about inequality, talking to Paul Volcker about financial reform. When you include outreach by her team, there have been discussions with more than 100 policy experts across the country. As for the second question, can you lead us there? She's also talking to people about what a successful, forward-looking, and technological advanced campaign would look like. One that would allow her to have a conversation with the American public about these ideas and do so in innovative ways. And just like that, on the policy side, she's especially interested in new voices and new talent. It's no accident she's talking to so many people from the Obama orbit. Joel Benison, for example, if she runs, this is going to be a different kind of campaign from top to bottom. Pretty sure that's like the rough draft for the public. You want to pick up number 3, Mermaid?
Yes. On the record, she is thinking through a decision and doing so with a big tent approach that allows her to hear from lots of people across the Democratic Party. She wants to hear new voices and new ideas. She's using this time to look at bold new ideas for helping the middle class and what it would take to build an inclusive, thoughtful, and technically advanced campaign so that if she decides to run, she'll be happy. When? Next week probably makes the most. But after we have an agreed upon plan in place, we should reconvene early next week by email or phone and make a decision. So then there's a follow-up from Philippe Rines, and he is CCing the same people, except there's a few new people in here. I believe NSM, Jim Margolis, is also CC'd in here regarding follow-up media call. Robbie, I agree with you about the next discussion needing to be about specific implementation. Towards that end, Nick will reply all with the memo he drafted, which has languished with me, not him. I can do anytime tonight, but a 10 p.m. call 2 years before Iowa seems a bit much, especially since there won't be anyone left to call us tomorrow. They all hit us one fell swoop this afternoon. So my suggestion is that everyone absorbs Nick's draft overnight and Marissa Astor sets up a call tomorrow for tomorrow on the early side with the benefit of reading all these stories. Again, though, I'm free at 10 p.m. if the group thinks we shouldn't wait. Huma and Robbie, entirely up to you. Since I procrastinated, though, I'll just add here that I was going to incorporate. Yes, HRC learned from 2008, as she has learned from every experience in her life, but we shouldn't let people forget that 2007 was 8 years ago. She has had many experiences since, and they have been part of the learning/growing process. So the question of what she will do in 2016 isn't without a basis to answer, as if she's been in a coma since she last ran. Look at what she did for President Obama in the general.
Oh, hang on a sec. What's that all about?
Coma?
Yeah, the coma. You're right. So
What do you think,
the
Tim?
question.
She's been in a coma since she last run. I mean, like that's like ding, ding, ding. What the hell is that all about? She's in a
Yeah.
coma.
Can somebody find that email from Huma Abedin? We talked about it last Q School where she says, Huma Abedin saying, that she's all drugged up and how easy it is for me to take power, basically be in charge. I believe it's from an email. I want to verify that, but two, if you have that piece, I want to share that. But yeah, go ahead, Mermaid, keep going.
Okay,
Start back here, right here. At so the question. Oh, I guess you're on your own screen. Start back at so the question of what? Read that one again.
So the question of what she will do in 2016 isn't without a basis to answer, as if she's been in a coma since she last ran. Look at what she did for President Obama in the general. Look at how she handled his wanting her to join the cabinet. Look at how she did the job of Secretary of State. Look at what she has done since, particularly on the philanthropic front. She has made hundreds of policy, management, and personnel decisions over that span, and by and large, they've turned out pretty well. If you want to know what someone is going to do, a good place to start is what they've done in 2009, 2010, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And then it continues with from Robbie Mook.
Okay, so Robbie Mook. So we're almost done, guys. Hang with us. Thanks for bearing with us. And still RE follow-up media call. So they're, planning her campaign strategy. Notice that she hasn't commented anywhere in here. These are all people basically running the department for us. So this one's directly to Huma Abedin. Of course, all these same people that we've kind of covered are CC'd in there. Not sure what PIR is. Last one we had NSM. Not sure what that was either. Okay, so from Robbie to Huma, he says, great, I want something to react to because we have a rough strategy. I think we're in a good spot to talk next steps now. And then Huma Abedin wrote, I know PIR will weigh in shortly. Does anybody know what this PIR is? Is that a company? Is that a person? I'm thinking maybe a person. Can somebody think who that might be? Raise your hand if you get it. I'm going to keep reading, Mermaid. Maybe keep an eye on the hand.
Philippe Rhymes.
Oh, okay.
Rhymes?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So in Merle, is that in? That must be NSM. So I think you might be right about Felipe. What the heck's his name? So I guess he's PIR. Yeah. Okay. And then they wouldn't do PR because that would be too similar to public relations. So I'm guessing it's Felipe. All right. I know PIR will weigh in shortly. Okay. From Robbie to Mandy Grunwald. Says subject, same thing, RE follow-up media call. Also, to be clear, are we reacting to a proposed plan of action or just discussing? I would strongly prefer to react to something because we discussed strategy on our last call, and at this point, I would like to discuss implementation. There was agreement that we should shape likely leaks, shape likely leaks in the best light for HRC and supplement with bits of policy that show her focus on helping the MC. Not sure what MC is. I'd like to just move forward in that strategy. Is there a draft of the memo we can see? Any idea what MC might be here, guys?
Master of ceremony.
Oh, they're dictating policy.
That sounds good.
And media. Maybe a debate. Probably
we're still on January 13th, which is a date that Q says checkmate. Very interesting. And then Mandy said sure. Okay. And then Mandy, let's see, January 17th. Huma Abedin wrote, can people do 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. tonight? Okay, General, just from John Anzalone to Mandy. CC'd all these same people. RE follow-up media call tonight or tomorrow during the day would be better. We have NH focus groups to watch tomorrow night. I don't know what NH is either.
National Health, maybe?
I'm not used to these ones. I'm going to keep moving. If anyone, I don't know if that's important. Okay, John Anzalone, please note email address. I think we're getting to the end here. I'll just finish it up, Mermaid, unless you go again if you want, Mermaid. Should we do a call tonight?
Should we do a call tonight? Calls will be heavy tomorrow, I imagine. Mandy Grunwald, then on January 13th, at 7:38, Huma Abedin wrote, "Can we regroup in our internal plan for dealing with the media, particularly given the stories today? I know Philippe and Nick have a draft memo in the works, but all of us getting on the same page would be helpful. Robbie, could we get on a call tomorrow evening, perhaps?" And that's the end.
Okay, great job, Mermaid. Thank you so much. So anybody know, I know we're covering a lot of information. Our brains can only take so much. Say that saying one more time, Mermaid. I kind of cut into you last time. Say it one more time.
The brain can only assimilate what the back end can tolerate. So if you sit too long, your brain's not going to assimilate that much. So get up, move around, that kind of thing.
Okay, I like that too. Yeah, movement's good. So Tim, if you were listening the whole time, can you maybe give what do you think's the big nugget to take from all this? I know Maggie Haberman, we got a team of people talking about Hillary Clinton's campaign. Anything else, guys? What's the key we
Kyle,
want to
can
take?
you
Yeah,
read the first paragraph again?
Last one?
The first one.
Oh, very
about
first
where they're
paragraph?
talking about how they're going to set it up.
Okay. All right. This one here? About the diversity?
Yeah, and how they were gonna something about talking about getting the main people in, and then
Yeah, what do you want us to look for? I'll
the
read it
very
again.
first
Right.
part of it where
Okay.
they were talking about setting something up like behind the scenes and being quiet about it, right?
Yeah, silent period. Interesting to
Okay.
use
Does
silent.
that have anything to do with silent runnings that Q dropped?
Silent running specifically. And now that's the song too. What else is the meaning to that?
Well, if they're running in the background, would this be the silent runnings?
Okay. We're all focused on getting diversity and we have to get there, but we also have a lot of big jobs to fill in the next few months. And I think we have to try to slow down our process. We have a handful of people right now, and given the leaks that are occurring in the last week, I actually think we have to shut down the process now to 1 to 2 essential posts, aka special access groups, that need filling soon, and build the diverse team we need from there. These stories will only hurt us if we keep pushing hard and get too much chatter out there. I think chatter is in a Q post too. Chatter, silent. We should look these up. I think we have to settle on what roles need to be filled immediately and limit our activity to that. If we can create a silent period for a couple of weeks and possibly slow down the press appetite, we can buy ourselves some space to fill in the team we want and need. This would starving the beast instead of feeding it.
So right there, the silent period, they're still working in the background on it. They're just being silent. So that'd be silent runnings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's in a Q drop somewhere, those silent runnings.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so anything else on that, Scott? And then we'll, Tim was about to say something.
Yeah, starving the beast instead of feeding it. And then I saw Maggie when I saw Maggie, it made me think of As the World Turns. So this might be alluding to some of those. I know we did a full dig on Maggie back on Q School a couple of months ago at the MG show. It was a big, I think it was we had a double show dig on Maggie alone. There was a lot of Q drops on that. But Kyle, we got about 17 minutes left in this recording, and we should scan over the our 2 beautiful digital soldiers tonight that chose these 2 Q drops. They also both mentioned game. One mentioned game and the other one was game over. So we should scan those Q drops that you had up earlier in the show and see if there's any connections to the information that we actually went through on these 2 Q drops.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, that's a good idea. So, all those connections too. The silent ones, others monitoring, friends and enemies, instructions, Snow White, Godfather 3, interesting connections there. Crumbs not only for Pole. Just looked up silent. So yeah, and then silent, is there a silent running? And then, give me right back there. I just want to look. I think silent running does come up. Okay, it does. We may have exhausted our ability to maintain safe comms. Snow White, rig for silent running, unknown return. Godspeed, Patriots. Wow, and if you think about that, 3 years, plan 3 years in advance. When was the last Q drop, Tim? December what? Let's take a look here. I think I got that one up.
I think it's December 8th of 2020, I believe. December 8th.
Yeah, December 8th, 2020. And now this post here, where silent running, is December 15th, 2017. There's a post that says specifically planned for 3 years. Let me do this one. 3 is in the kill box. Let's do that search. Dang, 21 drop still. I'll do this one. Do the planned and 3 in the kill box. Boom. Boom. Okay, expand your thing. Let's see, what's this one? The flood is coming. 576 embedded in 577. The flood is coming.
Emails. There it is.
Videos, audios, pics. FBI accidentally deletes text. No such agency accidentally releases it all. Shall we play a game? How about that connection, Tim?
Shall we play a game comes up again.
Expand your thinking. Plan 3. Wow, that's the only one, because there's another one where it says plan 3 years. Moves and counter moves. Here's another Snow White popping up in here. We're onto something, Tim. Moves and counter moves. Strategy warfare. This week we'll be revealing Snow White 1, 2, and 5 offline. 7th floor is no more. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean big things aren't happening. Night Riders fly. 2018 will be glorious. And I think we'll find out just how glorious that was when it all comes to play here. We won't even have any idea how much things happened here. And then here's the main part. Find the missing 3. Okay, there's the map is the key. Future proves past. Okay, and this came up the other day, so this is making me think I got to come back to that. The 3 missing executive orders. Buffalo found those for me. I have them saved on Mir somewhere. The map, okay, future proves past. Nothing is a coincidence. The map is key. We keep coming across that too. Map, key. Okay, planned for 3 years. Corruption and evil deep within, everywhere. Patience. There is no escape. There are no deals. Treason at highest levels. Foreign agents within our government, highest levels. The puppet masters have been removed. All vehicles of delivery removed. Strings cut. 7th floor, no more. FBI, State Department. We see all. We hear all. The hunt continues. Prison, death, class, Gitmo, space J, space 79, all this stuff, 89, red, Iron Eagle. Wow. So plan for 3 years. And then we get to this post where it says rig for silent running. 3 years almost to the day is our Q's last post. Interesting. Silent running. And then one more silent running here. Twitter from Donald Trump. Silent running is a tactic used when ... Not sure on that one. Let's get that number though.
Well, that would have to be rigged for red. Silent running of Hunt for Red October. Remember we talked about that a few days ago.
Silent Running is a movie too, right?
Rig for Red. Lots of Rig for Red posts and silent running. I'm going to do a search here for Trump's tweet on this one. What does he say right there for the silent running? The Obama-Biden administration is the most corrupt administration in the history of our country. Isn't that interesting? That's the Q post linked when it goes silent running. Silent running, Obama-Biden. Wow.
I just posted a story about Tulsi Gabbard, the Department of National Intelligence, saying
that's a lot of booms, brother. I like the booms. And D&D has been dropping some Moabs and diggers. Also, he's got some links for that Mandy Grunwald, who is an American political consultant, and then the other character, and these are all actors, bad actors at that. Dan Schwerwin, that was also in that leaked email from the Atlantic. The Atlantic covers, so I guess he's one of the higher ups with the Atlantic, and we know what kind of rag that is.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you, D&D, for that one. So interesting too. I was trying to figure out the answer, but also, never interfere with your enemy when they're in the process of destroying themselves too. So we've put the Biden administration on full display because the people were thirsty for seeing what the president was doing, and that's where the media made all their money off, bashing Trump 24/7, saying he's doing all this. And imagine all the slings and arrows he's taken, and then just the incredible things he was still able to accomplish. I mean, it really is, it's mind-boggling and so impressive, and you just can't wrap your mind around it. I mean, we have gas literally under $2 a gallon. $2 a gallon. I mean, we never thought we'd see that number again when it got up to $3 or $4. And even when it was at $4, you weren't thinking it'd be hardly even below $3. It went down below $2. The United States was the #1 producer of gas and oil in the world, on pace by 2024, I believe, to have produced more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia, Russia, and one other one combined. That's the things that we did when they're energy independent, all while these fake impeachments, 24/7 negative news media coverage, and yet they withstand through all the storm. And here we are continuing on, because this plan was set in place for a very, very long time. I know what video we're going to end on, Tim. We're going to end on this, not another 4-year election. That's what we're going to end on.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, let's slide over now to the game and over. Remember that dig you did, or you pulled up? Yeah, the game and over. Yeah.
27. Should we just scan? Here, this one's catching my attention. Sorry,
yeah, scan and release. Scan and release, bro.
Okay, this is from the Washington Examiner. Let's see, Department of National Intelligence. Okay, Byron York's Daily Memo exclusive DNI. That's the Department of National Intelligence. They're kind of like the central hub for all the intelligence agencies. This was enacted after 9/11 to be able to kind of exchange information across the intelligence agencies. Obviously, that would also allow the black hats to kind of be embedded and get all the information if they were in the DNI, such as Dan Coates. But the white hats were ready for that. And then they also created the special forces as a separate intelligence kind of agency, Chris Miller and Ezra Cohen Watnick. So welcome to Byron York's Daily Memo exclusive DNI to Schiff. The transcripts are ready to release. So I'm not sure what this is all about here. Richard Grenell, Trump-Russia investigation acting director of national intelligence, has sent a letter to Chairman Adam Schiff notifying him that transcripts of all 53 interviews, over 6,000 pages in all, have been cleared for public release. All of the transcripts with our required redactions can be released to the public without any concerns of disclosing classified material, Grinnell wrote to Schiff, letter dated May 4th. May the force be with you. Okay, this is a D class. We need to look through all this information when we get a chance. Transcripts to the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Okay, lots of great information in here. We got Bannon, Clovis, Clapper, Dan Coates, okay, Michael Cohen, all these people in the information here. Key witnesses in the Trump-Russia matters. Okay, so all these people, what's it say? Transmission of certain executive session transcripts to the Office of the Director of National Intelligence for appropriate classification review in preparation for public disclosure related to the following witnesses. Okay, I'm just going to scan, let you guys look at Michael Caputo, Thomas Catan, James Clapper, Dan Coates. Okay, he was the DNI swamp monster. Diana Denman, Mark Elias, Mike, those guys, Rob Goldstone.
Michael, don't forget Michael Cohen's in there too. You got that Cohen in there.
Michael Cohen. So back over here. Hope Hicks. David Kramer, multiple times. Jared Kushner. Corey Lewandowski. Loretta Lynch.
LL. John Podesta coming up. Wow.
Hey,
Susan Rice.
Number 2. 2 John Podestas. Susan Rice, SR. Jeff Sessions.
Here comes Jake the Snake. Sussman. Oh, wow. Sally Yates. This is crazy.
Yeah, lots of good stuff in here. So check that link out. That's in, I just happened to, the Q post that caught my attention. So it's 4118. If you're on QAG, if you guys ever want to search a specific drop, you go into the search bar and you hit #, and then you put in that number. 4118 would take me right to that post. Get familiar with searching around here and read different posts as much as you can. So this is May of 2020. Remember that May 4th, and now it's May 6th. So sorry, Adam, but the game is now over. It doesn't end, or excuse me, is that right? Yeah, the game is now over. It doesn't end here. Locked on target, okay, in the kill box. It takes time to remove, install the right people. Sleepers, okay, we are ready. Sleepers everywhere, especially Dan Coates. But certainly they had to have been ready for that. So how would they use that to their advantage? Okay, here's a great post. This is actually a 3-part post. It goes from 46 I think 28 or 29. Let me just see which one it is. If you guys want to see this, so people that say, "Oh, that's just conspiracy theory about, pedophile rings or whatever." Let me go make sure I get enough posts here. Which one? Where do they start at? Okay, starting on Q post 4630. Okay, and then there's only so many characters you can have on a post on the chans. Watch how long this goes. I'll put it on double screen here, guys. So if your friends and family think it's somehow conspiracy theory that people in government are involved with child sex trafficking or pedophilia, let's just let this scroll the screen for a minute. Send a prayer to all the children. Possession of child pornography, found guilty, sex trafficking, charges connected to a 17-year-old relationship with a girl, charged with indecent exposure to a minor. Okay, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter.
These people are sick. Q says it how many times? We should see how many times Q said these people are sick.
Yeah, actually, I think somebody mentioned that. I think it was Leota during his speech. Look at this, guys. It takes 3 freaking Q posts to cover all of the different arrests. These people have been charged, okay? Charged, raping 5-year-old girl, okay? Republican committee chairman, Jeffrey Patty, right? These people are sick on another level. It's not a conspiracy. All the information's there. That's only 2. It even has to go to a third post over here. So 4630 all the way to 4632. Republican, okay? Republican. There's plenty of Republicans and Democrats, so don't get confused, guys. This isn't a left versus right thing, all right? The sickness is pervaded everywhere, and they've been allowed to get to the highest positions of power, right?
Kyle, something important I put in, these people are sick. In post 2768, if you look at it, there's a picture of Obama with his wife and Jesse Smollett, who's in the news right now under these people are sick. That would be 2768.
Okay, I want to see that. 1 second. I just want to see how far this post went. I thought it was 3 posts, but maybe it's more than that. Oh, it is more. Holy cow. Oosh. It keeps going. Here's, look at 4 pages full, guys.
You know what? You know what I say? The time has come. I think we should take screenshots of these Q drops and everybody just hover over Facebook, Instagram with this stuff. Throw it right out there and let people see it for themselves. And don't even say a word. Just say, just go ... with a question mark and let them look at this. People need to know this.
Here's one spot. Take a picture, guys. I'm gonna scroll down to the next section where we are. We'll cover the next one. Take another one.
Yeah, so if you don't think evil surrounds us, like the Q drops have alluded to, and if you don't think that, for a second that this Q information is real or not real, just think about what you're seeing on the screen right now. Like, where else would an individual come up with all this information, Kyle? It would be almost impossible to pull this kind of information just on this topic alone. Like, that's a lot of information right on the screen.
Right. So there you go. If you got one more picture, and then this is, why did it, look at that. How about a perfect answer there? Why did it take a political outsider to finally confront China? Interesting, right? It's all connected. It's all connected with this. These people are sick. So let's look that one up. It was, what do you want? Remember, these people are sick. Did you do the whole sentence like that?
Yeah, I did. And, so it would be post 2768 with Jesse Smollett in it.
Okay. So she picked out one with, again, these people are sick. Okay, guys, it's this is what it's all about. Hunters become the hunted. Covered that one also already. This is what it's all about.
Kyle, I find another interesting, maybe a possible connection. There's 40 Q drops about these people are sick. Q drop number 40 is the 41020 Q drop. We've talked about that a lot here. That's the simple gematria ABCDE ... 41020. Donald J. Trump trying to show us these people are sick. 40 Q drops.
This is not a game. not a game with different spacing in there. Not sure what to make of that one. That's interesting. Okay, 27. What was it, Mermaid? 27 what?
68.
Oh, right here. Yep, 2768, and that's embedded in 2769. Let's see the timestamp. We got 8 minutes and 48. 8:48, Tim. Maybe see if there's anything there on that one. Here we go. Look at this. Jussie Smollett. Okay, look at happened with Michelle Obama. Look at Kamala Harris is right in there. Think about how detrimental this actually is to the movement of Black Americans by people making false hate race crimes. I mean, can you imagine that?
Kyle, also in the news today, Kamala Harris's husband just got the Rona. It was in the news today. And
this guy missed it.
your timestamp delta here, or timestamp difference, Q drop 858 says it's got an anons, and this is 848. Sorry, okay, I'll be back.
Yes, 6 seconds plus 42, so 8 would be 12.
You should have gave us 858 also.
848, yeah, 848. Tim's working on that one. Harrison Booker applying political pressure. Chicago PD. All right, it's all connected. Anti-lynching, false flags. Thanks for that, Mermaid. These people are sick, though. It really is. All right. Quick history lesson. Here's a good one, too, okay? 13th Amendment was to abolish slavery. 100% Republican support, only 23% Democratic support. 14th Amendment gave citizenship to the freed slaves. 94% Republican support, 0% Democratic support. 15th Amendment, right to vote for all. 100% Republican support, 0% Democratic support. Yet they try to tell you these bills designed to prevent stealing of an election is somehow to suppress the black vote. And don't be mistaken that there was some sort of switch in the political ideology. Absolutely not true. Not true. As you see, Senator Byrd, longest standing politician ever, like 50 something some odd years. He was the mentor to Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton. He was involved with the KKK. All right, Senator, let me show you what he looks like. Senator Byrd. Okay, not to be confused with Admiral Byrd, who's an amazing integrity person. Here's Robert Byrd. Sure, they don't say much about his KKK affiliations in Wikipedia here. All right, let's see. How long was he in office? Let's see. These are all of his different titles there. When was he actually originally in, though? Way back. What's that?
Second paragraph.
Oh, okay, right at the top. Yeah, I should have done that. Thanks, buddy. Okay, Byrd's political career spanned more than 60 years. He first entered the political arena by organizing and leading a local chapter. Wow, this is right on Wikipedia. This is awesome. This is the White Hats are in control of this. Okay, let me read this for everyone in case you're not familiar with him. Senator Byrd served 60 plus years in the Democrat Party. Okay, U.S. Senator, longest serving. A Democrat, Byrd also served U.S. Representative for 6 years. Okay, Byrd's political career spanned more than 6 years. He first entered the political arena by organizing and leading a local chapter of the Ku Klux Klan in the 1940s, an action he later described as his greatest mistake I ever made. Sure it was. He then served, although then he voted to not allow the civil rights movement to go forward. That was their longest standing filibuster as well, too. You know, just these people are liars. They do everything opposite that they say they're doing, and we're exposing them all. Okay, so this is Senator Byrd. And again, I just showed this other image. Shoot, did I close that? Where'd that image go? But that's where some of these things we've highlighted. This one right here. Screenshot this guy if you don't have this one also. All right, so let's see, Tim, wrap up the last few things. I know we had game and over. We didn't get to cover that too much, and we kind of made some roundabout ways there. I want to go back to it one more time here just to kind of touch on it. I think I had it up on this one. Yeah, game and over, 27 drops. So let's see what else stands up. Let's get one more, and then we'll end on that not another 4-year election.
That sounds like a plan. Trust the plan, folks. Trust the plan.
What about 416 in game over?
Game theory is in here on 1, 2. We've had some game theory. No blockade equals game over. We're going to get to the number that Mermaid wanted. Oh, was that up there? I guess I'm going backwards. For which one?
416. Soros takes orders from P.
Oh, I got you. Okay, 416. So that's right at the beginning. So let me just scroll. Let somebody see something. Public Awakening.
Beginning.
Post game over. Yep. I'm just scrolling here. We're going to end it on this. Just showing some people in case they want to pause it. Shall we play a game? Pops up on there too. Okay, who reported the discovery? Who inserted the discovery into the presidential daily briefing? Paper trail. How about a nice game of chess? The American people and others around the world are awakening. Panic. Game over is when you awake. All right, that's what we're here to help awaken all of you guys.
Look what number section. Go up to that one. Section what? In that Q drop you just read.
Who was it? Section 17 or 1.7?
Probably a 1.7, Executive Order 13526, Section 1.7. There's your 17, brother.
Yeah, and that was actually under Hussein's executive order. Interesting, but this is a good one too. Note things cannot be classified or remain to be failed to be declassified in order to conceal violations of law, inefficient administrative error, prevent embarrassment, restrain competition, or prevent or delay the release of information that does not require protection in the interest of national security. I.e., I would say Kathy O'Brien's testimony about the Clintons certainly doesn't have anything to do with national security. So let's get that thing declassified for the people to hear it. Okay, we're cruising. Here's a wonderful post too, 1602. This is where White Squall won. Remember this one, Tim? And how about this number too? Is we got 45, 55, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus the 2. And then it was in 222 right here. And then the different synchronicity of 2022 when we did that. Man, watch that White Squall video, you guys, if you haven't. That one's pretty powerful. Okay, we're almost there. 416, one of the first posts with game and over in it. Here we are. Boom, landed. This is one Mermaid wants to highlight. Soros takes orders from P. Who is P? You have no idea how sick and evil these people are. Fight, fight, fight. Days of days. Game over. Is P the pay sewers? Is P Pindar? Is P something else? That's maybe for you to decide for yourself. Okay, shall we play a game? Find the spiders and build the web, the map. Remember, they consider you to be the fly, specifically the feeder. Remember, they never thought she was going to lose. Therefore, they never thought investigations and or public interest into their criminal acts would be exposed or investigated. Therefore, they never thought they had anything to fear. Okay, therefore, they openly showcase their symbolism. Symbolism will be their downfall. Think mirror symbolism will be our uprising. Let us unite. Let us unite in freedom, in truth, in fighting for our children. What a beautiful way to do that other than, how about Q? Unite behind Q. 4,953 posts, not a single one calls for violence. All it does is ask questions. How did Saudi Arabia welcome Hillary Clinton during her trip? Why is this relevant? How did Saudi Arabia welcome Barack Obama during his trip? Why was this historic and not covered by the media when Donald Trump visited Saudi Arabia and they rolled out the red carpet? How about the sword dance in the middle? What are you missing? Time to start paying attention. Okay? It's all connected. All right, so let's how about a nice game of chess? Love it. Love it. What a great Q school, and we got a great video to end on. Does anybody have that one, or do I need to look it up real quick?
You're probably going to have to look it up, brother. I'm floored with the information that we just put forth here tonight in Q School based on just two simple Q drops, two numbers that two beautiful patriots in the chat with us tonight shared with us. Like I said, in Q School, we kind of really never know where we're going with it. But tomorrow's show, March 17th, I call it March Q Day. There's actually 17 Delta Q drops, so you can rest assured that we're going to be showing all 17 of those Q drops on the 17th day of March. So Kyle, God bless you, sir. You've done an amazing job, and God bless every single patriot that's here with us right now. And God bless every single patriot that watches and listens to our recording after this evening when it's ready to be released. And we pray for all of you and your families. And we wish you peace, happiness, and health as we move forward in this war that we find ourselves in, not by our choice, but by the choice of our evil enemies. But we're standing tall and standing proud. So I'm going to say one more time, keep fighting, keep uniting, and keep inviting, because where we go one,
we go all. All right, somebody got this video. There it is. Okay, boom, just in time. Perfect timing. This is not another 4-year election. Listen carefully. Power returns to the people. And I salute you all. What a great show, guys. We'll open the mics here after Kelly's prayer. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for awakening. Thank you for fighting for the truth. And thank you for fighting for the children.
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power stage. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up.
Yes.
The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, and then again, they will do worse than that. They will do whatever is necessary. The Clintons are criminals, remember that. This is well documented, and the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefits of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family, instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies, deceptions, malicious attacks. Who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
Boom!
Oh, yeah, I think it gets wrapped up there. Yeah, thank y'all for hanging out with us. Love, love, love. Well, see y'all soon. Love, love, love.